The name of the new album is called A Enlightenment, B Endarkenment, Hint, There Is No C. And as I've mentioned before, this is the worst title for an album that there's ever been.
Enlightenment, be endarkenment, hence there's no say, and heaven pours down rain and lightning bolts.
The album cover, of course, is very creepy, and people ask me why would I do that, and I've said that you get more attention burning down the barn than you do carrying out the trash. And you know, when I was a kid, about 9, I would carry out the trash. That was my job. As long as you carried out the trash, nobody knew you existed, you know. And but you burned down the barn one time, and I had relatives I didn't even know I had that would drive up and go, "There's a kid burned down the barn." So, you know, the title of it's a horrible title and a creepy cover, but you know, it seems to be getting a little attention.
I got a woman who's wild as Rome. She likes being naked and gazed upon.
Well, I wrote that with a young guy named Hayes Carll, and I've said this before. I really like Hayes. It's really nice to see someone that young that's you know, pretty much already burnt out and fried. Usually you have to be my age to be that bitter and resentful, but he's already like that, so I think he has a great future in him. And we got together. I've been reading these French poets, and we got together, and we kind of I walked in there, and Hayes said, "I got this line for a song." He says, "I got a woman who's wild as Rome," and I went, "She likes being naked and gazed upon." And so then we wrote the first verse and the chorus, I think, and then I had to leave, and so Hayes kind of took it, and we kind of communicated over email and then over the phone, and he kind of took it his own way and kind of wrote some verses, and I wrote some that are kind of different. So it's like it's the same song, but it's actually it's almost 2 different songs, because there's some lines that he sings that I don't sing and lines that I sing that he doesn't sing. So, you know, it turned out pretty good. Well, that, you know, that kind of explains the title, Enlightenment and Endarkenment. You know, like I say, I'm able to kind of straddle the fence, to have a foot in each world, you know, to be able to, you know, I guess, you know, being a songwriter, to have that freedom to write about whatever I want to write about, you know. And so you kind of got the endarkenment, you know, of drunken poets and opium and deceased call girls, and you know, and then but then you kind of got the other thing too of you know, 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and whoop and holler, kind of the you know, enlightenment idea, gospel idea. So so that's why, you know, the title actually kind of fits you know, fits the idea of the album, all the songs. You know, it's not a concept album, but all this, it does kind of, they all fit together, even though they're 2 different type songs. I mean, two different world views, I guess I would say. We had the album finished. It was done. We had 11 songs done, and then we were sitting there, we were mixing, and all of a sudden, remember the end of the movie of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and they're sitting there, and all of a sudden Butch goes, "Here's where we should go next," and Sundance said, "I don't want to hear it, don't tell me about it." He goes, and they wait for a little while, and he goes, "Bolivia, I knew you wanted to know anyway." But that's kind of the way it was, because we were sitting there, the album was done, and George says, "You know what this album's missing?" I said, "It's not missing anything, don't tell me that." And he said, you know, and he said, I said, don't say anything. He says, "It's missing something." And I went, "I don't want to hear it. It's done. I got 11 songs. All the music's done. We're you know, trying to do this deal." So we sit there, and all of a sudden he goes, "Rock anthem." And I went, "What? Don't tell me that." And he says, "Yeah, it's missing a rock anthem, because your other records I have, you know, Live and Die Rock and Roll, and Rock and Roll's a Vicious Game, and Wanna Rock and Roll." So you know, so it kind of, so I thought about it, so I went home that night and wrote the chorus. Just had an idea of, you know, we're all gonna bust loose one of these days, but we're never gonna break loose of our rock and roll ways. So I wrote the chorus and then just kind of started, you know, kind of an idea of thinking of my wife, Judy, not that, you know, but, you know, she has this wildness about her. And then I just kind of, you know, use your imagination to kind of, back in the old days, the idea of, you know, someone, you know, when someone, you know, passes away and dies, there's this grieving thing that's just so hard. But after a period of time, you know, you can actually think of them and not just break down. You can think of them and smile, and you remember, you know, the time that you did have together. So it just kind of, just kind of a cross between my wife Judy and some of these old girls I used to know. You'll edit that out, won't you? Yeah. I'm either versatile or I'm, you know, spreading myself thin. One way or the other. It depends on how you look at it. But I'm really happy with the record. I really am.